I didn't get the third stage evolution. I didn't get the Charizard. I got a Charmeleon. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? A pandemic wouldn't be good. You know, fuck GTA 6. A pandemic wouldn't be good. Man, these kids are already fucking stupid. You know, I was just chilling, having a semi-decent day. You know, just got off of playing some Tekken 8 ranked, hit Tekken Emperor, yay me. And then I realized, or then I remembered that we have another pandemic lurking in the shadows, trying to follow up behind his best friend, COVID, the Hantavirus. And then my day got completely ruined, you know? So today we watching We Cannot Do Another Pandemic by Tommy NFG to try and figure out what's really going on with this Hantavirus. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it.
I want you to take yourself back to a certain date in 2020, March 13th.
Oh my God.
2020.
What were y'all doing during March 13th, 2020? I remember very vividly one of the greatest albums of all time, Eternal Take, dropped on like, I think that the weekend before, it dropped on March 6th, and then he dropped the deluxe the next weekend, which was March 13th, and unfortunately, my whole college semester ended, my baseball season ended. I was a freshman in college. Yeah, but Eternal Take dropped. Hey, that was a good ass time. What were y'all doing on March 13th?
Add that this mostly applies to people in America. You woke up that Friday morning like every other Friday of that year. Dragged yourself out of bed to the bathroom.
Oh my God,
to prepare
bro.
yourself either for school or for work. While in school, your friend looks at you and says,
"Yo, Uzi dropped Eternal Take. You got
Hey, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
It is really hard, and indeed
Literal.
This would be
literal tears listening to that first song. I'm so serious.
Lil Uzi's last good album, but you don't know.
No, I'm not
As
a
the day
bitch.
starts to end in school, the principal comes on the PA system and lets everyone know, due to a little virus called COVID-19, school would be closed for 2 weeks. You cheer with your friends, hyped that you're basically getting a week break in the middle of the year for free, not knowing what it will turn into. If you worked a job, you either got an email from your employer.
See for me, Coach hit us up in a group me. He hit us up in a group me. If you know what group me is, it's like WhatsApp. Coach hit us all up in a group me. He said our games this week got canceled because of the virus and whatever, and that they're monitoring the season, but as of right now, the college campus is closing, so we can all go home. Right? It's just for like 2 weeks. Then towards the end of March, we get a text.
The whole season is over, by the way. The season is over. Thank you guys for the season. I can't wait to see y'all boys next year. But stay safe, stay well, stay inside.
And my nigga, I was so distraught. I didn't know if I was supposed to be happy. I will never forget that day for the rest of my life.
That the company would be switching to remote work temporarily, or you got an email that you were fired and to get out immediately. This little virus would then turn into one of the worst pandemics to happen in over a century. And after it ended, the world all promised itself that we'd be prepared and this shouldn't happen not only in our century, but many to come.
Health officials around the world are racing to contain a deadly outbreak of Hantavirus.
The damn Hantavirus.
Ship in the Atlantic.
Hello? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard of it by now, we're having another bit of a virus issue around the world. Even not including COVID, it seems like every couple of years, there's always a virus panic hitting
W
the whole
fucking
world.
movie, oh my God.
In the 2010s, you had the Ebola pandemic, which happened in Africa, but cases spread all
Bro,
over
I
the
remember
world.
when the Ebola virus started going crazy, and niggas in my middle school acting like that shit was the cheese touch. Niggas spreading rumors that so and so had Ebola. Stay away from them. Oh, there was a case of Ebola in hallway D. This was wilding when Ebola dropped.
Or if they interacted with an African person, they would get it and die next week. I gotta admit though, that Ebola song did kind of go hard. You had the measles outbreak in 2019, where a record amount of people were getting it around the world. In America, New York got hit the most, and there were 1,200 cases across 31 states. Crazy how this didn't matter, because next year's virus would make that outbreak look like a little cakewalk. And
it seems like every year there's a new virus, bro, because even with the Hantavirus are going around, I read somewhere on Twitter, not the best place for information, I know that, but I read it somewhere on Twitter that there's a new case of norovirus going out. If you don't know what norovirus is, it's like a bad stomach flu. You throwing up, you're shitting at the same time, you throw shitting. You know, it's bad. I heard that's a new case going around, so I'm like, damn, maybe niggas need to stay inside, or maybe niggas need to wash their hands. I don't know. It just seems like there's a new virus, a new mutated sickness that spreads around every single year, bro. Why are niggas not carrying hand sanitizer? Washing their hands, Lysol. It's crazy, bro.
This virus called the Hantavirus. Here's some info. Hantavirus has been a thing since the 1950s and was fully identified by a doctor in 1978. There's been cases everywhere under the sun since it got identified. It's spread by the worst creatures we know, of course, rodents. And you get it by
not too much on rodents, they cool.
released in the air or by directly touching it. Don't know why the f you'd be directly touching rat shit. At that point, you just ask for the death sentence. I don't feel bad. And it's only supposed to be from rodent to human until cases started happening from human to human. They called it the Andes version of the virus, and the first case was identified in 1995 of someone getting it from human contact. It happens here and there, but it's way more rare than getting it directly from rats yourself. So you may be wondering why everyone's panicking about it. Well, we can fully blame this dumbass who decided to make a video talking about a hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship he went on. His name is Jake Rosemarin, and he decided to go on a cruise with—
I'm not gonna lie. I do feel bad for them people on the cruise ship. Imagine hearing that there's like this virus with a 50% mortality rate going around the cruise ship, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it besides just wait for your impending end. I'll be horrified too. I'll be just like my nigga Jake and make a TikTok crying and shit. I would be too.
Bunch of other people from different countries. Not knowing that a couple had the virus, they brung it on the ship and all hell broke loose. The cruise was not cheap either. Like, they must have been using today's sponsor Current to save up for this. If you've ever wished payday came sooner,
I hope you get your bag, Tommy.
$50 earlier. And spawns of using my link.
Get on with the video though, my boy. I appreciate it.
It'll take you straight information code, which unlocks the set. Don't miss it. If you ever feel like man, now back to the video. 3 people died.
They got paid for that one, okay?
One of the doctors got sick treating someone. So with him panicking because everyone got told to quarantine until further notice, he made an update to the outside world talking about his experience.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel
I just washed my hair, so my hair looks like, you know, very Jerry curlish, and that's why.
I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives.
Low-key, no one would have known about this that much if he didn't make the video, but now that's all anyone's worried about. People aren't over a little world-stopping moment from
people would have figured out somehow, though.
Don't want it again. It doesn't even take just this. Everyone was panicking when they announced a new strain of COVID like monkeypox. In a way, the whole world has World War II soldier PTSD on anything happening. Instead of hearing a helicopter and having a heart attack thinking you're in the war field, we hear a new virus drop and have PTSD of Among Us and those TikToks of which room you would sleep in the hardest. And also the
I'm not gonna lie. I already told the homies, if the pandemic does happen, and I wish it does not, I don't want it to happen. I'm not saying I want it to happen, but I'm saying in the rare case that it does happen, and if GTA 6 does still drop during the pandemic, it's gonna be a good ass time. I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be a good ass time. I'm pretty sure you understand too. Bro. No work, no school, nothing but GTA 6 and staying your ass in the house. Now I know what are you gonna do for food? You know, what are you gonna do about everything else, because everything is getting more expensive. I know, I get it. You want to see your girlfriend, you want to see your boyfriend, you want to see your family, hoping your mom is good. I understand, but push all that to the side. GTA 6, come on. You know all that shit gonna get washed away if you see the GTA 6 on your PS5 home screen. You know that. I'm sorry.
People off because he said we're not just a story, we're people with families, lives, and friends. Like, that isn't everyone in the world. Are y'all the only ones with families and friends? No one even knew about the headlines of story until you made this video, buddy. People's first reaction to hearing the story was saying a couple of things, one being do not dock the Pope because we don't want it to spread even more. Other people said just dock it at one country and don't let them leave until it's solved. There's also people saying fuck it, 150 people versus a potential 8 billion person pandemic with a disease that's a 40% fatality rate, might I add.
After hearing so many horror stories, bro, about being on cruise ships, like the poop ship, the poop ship documentary on Netflix, I will never board a cruise ship in my fucking life, ever.
Weeks. In the wise words a man once said,
he's rapping now.
Nuke the whole generation. If it were up to me, I would drop an atomic bomb on the whole generation.
Y'all are about to get so mad at me, and I know I don't post like this. I usually would post on my other page, but like, truthfully, sink the ship. Sink the ship, okay?
I don't think they should sink the ship, bro. I don't think that's not fair, because imagine just hopping on a cruise ship. You had a long ass 2025. You was looking forward to this nice cruise, and I don't know when the cruise was. Let's just say it was February. You was looking forward to this nice ass cruise, and then one day you wake up in your cabin and you get the news that there's a deadly virus that is taking rampant on the ship. And now you make a video on TikTok, and instead of people being sympathetic about it, they tell you to die. They tell the fucking government to sink the ship. I'd be pretty fucked up in the head with that one. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that sinking the ship is cool, because you know there's people on the boat that did not know that they were gonna go into a deadly virus. You know, I don't think that's fair.
I don't care. I've seen enough. Sink the fucking ship.
That ain't like Andrew Garfield.
Ship like it's a game of Battleship. F2 hit. I'm not even trying to be insensitive, but we cannot do this right now. We cannot do this right now.
It seems like the general public is taking this well. The PTSD people have over COVID is beyond what people could think. If you said this pre-2020, people would have thought you were crazy and a bad person. But now there's a lot of people saying they genuinely don't care, whatever it takes to stop a potential pandemic. And even though scientists and health organizations are saying it's a low chance to turn into another COVID, didn't y'all say that last time? If there was some horrible scenario where it did somehow turn into a pandemic, this would be way worse. A 40% fatality rate is diabolical. You got a 4 in 10 chance of dying. With COVID, unless if you were really old or really young, you didn't have to worry about it too much and could tank it. This would be a damn near
when I had COVID, when I had the Omicron version, the Omnitrix one. When I had COVID, it wasn't that, it was bad. Excuse me, it was bad in a sense, like, you know, of course your chest was hurting, you know, the coughs was bad. I had a sore throat, which I'm not sure if it was one of the symptoms of the Omicron, but it just felt like if it was Pokemon and a regular common cold was the first stage, the Omicron felt like the second stage evolution. I didn't get the third stage evolution. I didn't get the Charizard. I got a Charmeleon. You know what I'm saying? You pick him up when I'm putting down. It wasn't that bad, you know. But I'm obviously not speaking for everybody else who got it. You know, people who died. You know, people who were hospitalized for it. But my experience with it, it wasn't that bad. But this shit sound like a nightmare.
It's extinction event in every country, and there's still no cure. There's also other reasons I wouldn't want it to be a pandemic, at least in the US. There will be zero safety precautions set
at all,
People
bro, at all.
barely handle the last lockdown, and we're going insane every day. And obviously, while it sucked for everyone, it was for a reason. This time, people are just gonna keep going outside every day and passing it like no tomorrow. We can guarantee there wouldn't be a lockdown order, even if it wasn't.
There's gonna be a 65-year-old on Facebook with the Oakley's red, the United States bandana, sitting in his Ford F-150, talking about how anti-mask is the way to go, and how masks are for liberals. I'm telling you, it's inevitable, bro. These niggas not gonna take it seriously. They're not gonna take it seriously at all.
We barely got one last time. The president was forced to do it by his team because people were dropping every day. And also, bleach didn't work as a cure.
Get the right folks who could. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute. 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or?
Yeah, lockdown order or not, if I see thousands of dropping a day, my ass is staying inside. And even if there was a vaccine released, people wouldn't trust it and wouldn't take it. They think it's some secret plot to have everyone's blood injected with Satan's and at his will activate your chip and have you walk yourself to the pits of hell. People took
now that I think about it, bro, a pandemic wouldn't be good. You know, fuck GTA 6. A pandemic wouldn't be good. People wouldn't take it seriously at all. We would probably be in that pandemic for longer than the COVID pandemic. We probably would be, well, not pandemic, obviously, lockdown. We'd probably be in lockdown for longer than we was for COVID. It would probably be like about 6-7 years. It'd probably be like about 6 or 7 years before we get out of that lockdown, because nobody would take it seriously, bro. No vaccinations will be taken. Nobody will be walking around with masks. People will be protesting because they have to wear masks outside. It'll be bad, bro. It'll be bad. At least over in the US. In Japan, they were locking down on COVID, bro. The minute that they heard that shit was contagious, nobody was going outside. Nigga, France, people were begging to go outside in France, and them niggas were saying no. They were saying no. Take your ass outside, you're getting shot. So, you know, maybe this shouldn't happen.
And were doing the most, acting like their whole life was over and they never recovered. There was people faking that they had permanent violent seizures because of it. It would be kind of funny if there did so happen to be a pandemic and certain people don't trust the vaccine released. Because this ain't like COVID. It's a 40% fatality rate. Your ass is just gonna die. Those 60-year-old MAGA boomers are gonna drop like flies. We also definitely are not getting COVID checks like last time. You're gonna have to thug it out, and if you can't make it and you don't have a job,
how would you even check for it? Like, would it be the same as like a nose swab like last time?
Right now, in this state of the economy and around the world, we have certain problems going in certain parts of the world. Like, people literally would not be able to afford to go through it again. At least pre-COVID, the economy was in decent shape. You can guarantee, though, someone's boss is gonna say no to remote work and tell them they have to come in. Something also that would be annoying is having to get used to social interactions again. Everyone was low-key anti-social.
Bro, when I say COVID, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that believes this, COVID ruined anybody between the ages of 20 years old to, I want to say, 27. It ruined our way of being social. It had to, bro. It had to. I used to be a social butterfly. You could put me in any room and I'd be able to at least walk out with 3 homies. At least 3. Now you put me in a room,
I'm not gonna talk to any of them niggas.
I'm not talking to any of them. I mean, I'm gonna be deep in my phone like these, playing Pokemon on an emulator or some shit. I don't know what COVID did. I don't know if it was just being inside for basically like 2 years straight that just reworked my brain into, like, you know, just going back into a shell. I don't know what it is, bro, but I don't know. Somebody gotta do a study on that.
So after the lockdown orders were lifted, because we were inside for so long, you had to learn how to communicate again because it just felt weird. Maybe some people did better, but I know for me it was rough. Transitioning from being on Discord all day with the homies playing games, not touching a speck of sunlight, to driving places and hanging out in public was a bit of an adjustment. Some people say they still ain't recovered since back then. Yeah, if you still think you're recovering from your anti-socialness from COVID, you're probably just antisocial. It would also be horrible for the youth considering how much they got held back from it. Everyone older in Gen Z just barely
people missed out on prom, graduation, weddings. Oh my god, it was so bad, bro. Maybe a pandemic shouldn't happen. Maybe a lockdown shouldn't happen. Yeah, I'm gonna need those, like, what, those 100 people with the Hantavirus. I need they have to stay inside.
And alpha kids can read proficiently currently. Throwing them in another lockdown in their childhood is gonna be a death sentence. They might end up being the most failed generation by society's problems. I got hit by COVID in my junior/senior year, but at least I can say growing up through my core development years, I was good. I couldn't imagine my first time trying to learn the ABCs was through a Zoom class.
Oh my
this time
god,
they're gonna
bro.
have AI too.
And these
so
kids
all
already,
the kids are gonna
man, these kids are already fucking stupid. I seen a video of a nigga not knowing how to say silhouette. We're cooked. And these are supposed to be the people that are gonna be taking care of us. Okay, me and you, when we're like 85. Wait, no, when we're 85, they're gonna be like 70. So maybe not. Maybe it's like maybe the people taking care of us haven't been born yet. So there's still a little bit of hope. But as of right now, we're cooked as a generation, especially with AI. Oh my god, that's a different conversation.
Cheat on their assignments. The methods people used to have to do in 2020 to cheat were absurd. We became scientists in our own ways. People would pre-record them doing work on Zoom when they were sleeping. This fat guy in my gym class in high school decided to pre-record himself working out and just played it on loop.
They had gym
that fat guy totally wasn't
in Zoom meetings.
I didn't do that. People would smear Vaseline on their cameras and tell the teacher the camera was broken so they could cheat. You don't need to do all that. Now that we got ChatGPT, it'll do the work for you. I do remember those Zoom times nostalgically though. My teacher's classes got rated at least 7.
Those Zoom videos. I don't know. It was this guy. What was his name? I think it was like Matt. Those Zoom videos where he would like hijack a Zoom meeting. Generational.
Times of the year. I'll end it off with some positive news though. The reason why health organizations and governments are saying this won't be COVID 2.0 is because they have decades of research on this compared to COVID-19 that was brand new. So the world isn't starting with zero information on it and have to rush and figure out what to do. Also, since it's been contained to this one ship, it isn't jumping from hundreds of people to hundreds of people like before. If you were in the vicinity of someone with COVID, as you know, your fate to get it was guaranteed. I'll never forget the one time I got it. It was from one of my dumbass homies who decided to pull up to the group meet with it without telling any of our friends.
I got that shit through a link. It was like that shit went through different generations of niggas to get to me, bro. I got it from my girlfriend's brother. He got it, transferred it to her mom. Her mom thought she was fine. Transferred the shit to her. My girl was bedridden for like 3 days. Then my throat started getting scratchy. I knew I was cooked. I knew I was fried. Then got my ass 4 days later. It was GG's.
Gave it to literally everyone there. With Hantavirus, it's mainly people with romantic partners who get it or being around someone who's sick with it. So if you're lonely and get no play, pat yourself on the back. You may have just prevented yourself from dying. Who knew being a loser would save me and you? COVID also spread way faster than this, so we would see a lot more cases if it was like it. I remember waking up and checking COVID cases. It would go from 3 to 10 to 200 to 1,000 to 10,000. And technically a mutation could happen to the virus and a new one could
That's what I'm afraid of, a
most
mutation.
Studies show when a virus gets mutated, it either stays the same or turns into nothing. At least hopefully that's the case, or humanity's in for one hell of an extinction.
Like I'm afraid of a mutation that brings a mortality rate up to like 70. It'll be over. It'll be GG's, bro.
Anyways, that's gonna be it. Everyone stay safe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys.
W video.
And until next time, I'm out.
All right, but yeah, bro, the Hantavirus. Me personally, I don't think we're gonna go into lockdown. I think that I'm speaking on from the point of view of the United States. They were very regretful when it came to the previous lockdown. They hated that shit, and when I say they, I mean like businesses, billionaires, millionaires, the rich. You know, they hated that shit. And I don't think that they're willing to go through such an economic hit like that again. So I don't think we're going to be on a lockdown. Now, if it gets worse to the point where, you know, how like it's spreading like how it was with COVID, then maybe we having a different conversation. But until then, I don't think we're going to be in lockdown. I feel like right now it's just a whole bunch of people being rightfully fearful of it because, you know, like we just got out of a global pandemic 3 years ago, so people are being rightfully fearful of it. So I think that's what it is, that people are just scared of what's going on and what could happen, but what's less likely to happen with this situation. So I don't think it's going to be a Hantavirus pandemic or a Hantavirus lockdown. I think we'll be fine, bro. I think we'll be fine. But that's it for the video. Let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comments. Do you think there's gonna be a pandemic? Do you think there's gonna be a lockdown? Let me know in the comments, bro. And if it is, you ready for that GTA 6 though? You ready for that GTA 6? I know you are, bro. I know you are, bro. But all those aside, bro, I love y'all. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.